Opaskwayak Cree Nation has recently been hit with the COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, provincial rules and regulations have been set up for businesses and institutions to help slow the spread. This includes the schools in our community. I spoke with leaders from Oscar Lathan Collegiate and Joey Ross to find out more about the COVID-19 procedures being put in place. Principal Ron Constant of OLC speaks of the parents' main concern.
I guess the main concern is their safety, and we explain what kind of safety protocols that we have here at the school. They seem fairly at ease after that. We still have some parents that are kind of hesitant to send their kids to school. Before they get on the bus, the kids are all screened with they've got screeners on the bus with temperature gauges, and they hand out those questionnaires. And when they come to the school building, there's screeners right at the main door. We've got designated entrances, and they're asked the same thing. And the screeners write down the time and the temperature of the students as they're here. And they give them a form to fill out, and they assess them right there. So if there's somebody that answers yes to one of those questions, then the screeners are there and they begin the investigation.
I go and inspect them, and I look at their eyes, I listen for their nose and their mouth, as you can tell if someone's sick.
If a student were to check 2 or more symptoms from the list, then the screeners immediately take action.
We isolate them in the isolation spot we have. And I escort them through that back door to the front, and I talk to their parents, and I give them a form that they got to be 24 hours symptom-free before they come back, or else we're just going to send them home again.
We only allow 12 students in the classroom. The desks are 2 meters apart. We've divided our cohorts into Group 1 and Group 2, so there are only 12 students in the classroom. We've invited the parents to come in at the beginning of the school year just to check out how the classrooms are set up so that they can feel safe about their children coming to school. We ensure that all students wear masks, except for nursery and kindergarten. It's not mandatory for them to wear it because they keep taking it off, but they try and practice it. They're starting to wear masks already.
Students and staff at both schools also have only one entrance and one exit to ease congestion in the hallways. I also spoke with Omar Constant, who's in charge of sanitation in the classrooms and bus transport for both schools. He answers with how often buses and classrooms are disinfected.
They're pretty much done every time. Like, for example, when the buses come in, they do their pre-checks. They'll check their buses, pick up the students, and then the drivers will go back and they'll wipe down all the seats, wipe the floors, windows, but at the end of the day, they would do their fogging. And the fogging takes place to kind of give it a kind of more of a reassurance that we're capturing everything that might be airborne or on the surface. Same thing with our school operations. At the end of the day, when school's out, we have our custodians would go around, they fog all the classrooms, the hallways, and then once that fogging takes place, we usually allow it about 10 minutes, and then from there, that's when our evening staff would go and commence in the rooms on that part of it.
Screeners are placed at each entrance in both schools. They ensure if it's safe for a student to enter the building.
They monitor, especially at the front door, which is the red area. When they come in, they monitor who's coming in. They screen as they are coming in, ask questions when they come in. They're all fully geared. They have all their equipment on. And they deliver lunches to the classrooms.
We have a hallway monitor that would maintain the social distancing outside as the day walkers coming in. And as they come through the door, we use our screeners to kind of monitor to keep the students moving. Basically, the screeners are probably at each door location in the hall. So this way, if we have students that are kind of socializing, we ask them to move into the classrooms just to keep that part of it. Sometimes we'll have a screener at all the washroom exits, just to make sure that we only have one student entering in the washroom when required. So this way they're maintaining social distancing outside the washroom.
We've got the face shields they could be using. Of course, everybody has to be wearing a mask, whether or not they're in the hallway or in the classroom. Right now we've got a limit of 12 students max in each classroom, and the students are all 2 meters apart. So we're really watching out for social distancing, and the screeners have that extra bit of precaution because they come in close contact with everybody. So they've got full PPE when they come to work in the morning.
Basically what the screener is supposed to do is when they're coming in from the bus duty, we have screeners on the bus. They would take the temperature of the student, record them, and they would have their seating arrangements. And then when they hit the school, those screeners we have 2 screeners identified on the students that are coming from off the bus. So they make sure they open up the door, make sure they do their hand sanitizing, make sure they have the mask in place, and so forth. The ones that are in front of the school, the red door for the day walkers, they would take temperature reading of the students, document their names, their times. If they don't have masks, and then we make sure they have a mask in place, and then they're asked to go into their classrooms on that part of it.
There's no sharing of lunches. Students are to bring their own water bottles. They have lunches in their own classrooms with EAs monitoring. They don't share any desks or anything. Teachers have put their materials in the containers, individual containers. So when students come in, they just pick up their container and go to their desk.
Judy Marak is the nurse for both schools, and her focus is following the provincial Restoring Safe Schools plan.
My role as school nurse, as it pertains to COVID-19, is to ensure that the Restoring Safe School plan is followed.
The students' mental health is also important. Being separated from friends can bring extra stress.
I also encourage the health support workers to talk to students when they see students are struggling with anxiety. That's very, very important for our team to acknowledge that this is a very stressful time for students and staff as well. So one of the resources that I use is from the Canadian Mental Health Association, Back to School COVID-19. The health support workers are on board at all locations, so we cover Joey Ross School and Oscar Laughlin and the bus garage.
Not only does the screening staff take care of the schools, but also other branches of Opaskwayak.
Because we have a fogging system in place, our team has also used any branches of OCN. An example, like PBDC, if they have a case over there, we would send our team over to do a fogging. When we have our vaccine happening at OHA, we would send our team over there, our cleaning staff, to go help clean the facility, fog and clean the facilities. So basically, we're not only doing our school operations, but we get requests from outside, from other branches of OCN to go do our services in that part of it.
The focus of all staff at both Joey Ross School and Oscar Laughlin Collegiate is the safety of the students. The goal is protecting their physical and mental health. The global pandemic that began in 2020 has greatly affected our community and the rest of the world. With safety measures in place at our schools, we can slowly but surely start moving forward.
I bring my 2 grandchildren to school and I feel safe about it. A lot of the high school and junior high and elementary is learning how to be with somebody, learning how to interact with peers and so on. And you really can't explain something in depth if you are just looking at a computer screen. You need that interaction with somebody. I'd just like to thank the parents for putting their trust in us and helping us through the difficult times when the kids weren't able to come to class. And a testament to the teaching staff at both schools for going above and beyond and ensuring the continuity of instruction that's coming out.